당주 로릭 제래 당주 아질레 안조 거기 동아래 타제 탈바다 템지 김벽고 토야다 되네 지게 개와치마 하다미 고번 토야 원대 고번 토야 네 되네 고와당 소미 동아래 타다 줘지 탈바다 템지 김벽고 토야 된 안주기 때 미유로시 디차고로 와 제사다 안조 디 토야라 안스 토고레스네 지난 코와당 나송래 타고 거와 지난 동아래 타고 거라 코와당 나송래 깨바나 동아 용고와 지난 아주 동아래 타고 거래 지난 동아래 타고 인자 동아 영야의 규디간의 용고래선 맞아 짐주에 제어도 규디 아니 치료의 용고 말해지래 난 규간의 용고라서 나가서 낭 마저게 낭 삼루비 규와 토네 레당은 레사제 네 레기왕기 안 코와게 원래나 뭐냐 저는 유소디 아주 낭 아주게 레다 녀몽 발했던 용거래지와
Good evening. So all of us here, we have as Buddhists, we have this goal to attain freedom from the sufferings of samsara, and in order to achieve that, we have as an objective either to achieve a good rebirth in our next life as a human or a god, or perhaps we even striving for nirvana, or thirdly, we perhaps have as our primary objective, the highest objective, that of the omniscient state of a Buddha. In order to achieve, or the reason for having such a goal is that one has this wish to attain freedom from samsara. And what does freedom from samsara mean? It means freedom from suffering, or liberation from suffering. So in order to actually be able to attain the state of nirvana, or even the state of omniscience, which is a state where one is completely freed from suffering, one has to first clearly understand what is the cause of our suffering. The cause of our suffering isn't something external, something from the external world, but it comes about due to a mistaken way of thinking. And this mistaken way of thinking leads to the accumulation of karma, which ripens in our suffering experiences. Or to express it in the more usual way, we accumulate contaminated karma due to our own afflicted minds. And this is the cause of all our suffering.
지상당은 저기 레다 녀모바 세지 사진의 코와게 코와당은 숨이 게 규다 동안의 규디 대등저 미케와 디바 사발 때 용고레스 지상당은 아주 하다 미코와 토야기 규디가스네 아니 개위 탈바 탐지 김벽고 토야 하다 미코와 토야다 탈바 탐지 김벽고 토야데 가르스네 개와 사발 때 용고레스 개와 사발 때 용고레스 지난 디리사야디 가르스는 저기 개와사야다 디바 빠야디 디바사디 개와다 디바사야디 먼저 삼로 되는 용고로 봐서지.
The causes then of all the sufferings that beings experience throughout cyclic existence, throughout samsara, is the contaminated karma that they themselves have accumulated under the influence of their own afflicted minds. So, to achieve, stay freed of this, or to even before that, to achieve a good rebirth, a rebirth again as a human or as a god, such a result of a good rebirth comes about in dependence on virtuous karma. So suffering comes about in dependence on non-virtuous karma, happiness comes about in dependence on virtuous karma. And virtue and non-virtue, this comes about independence on a particular way of thinking. To independence on one way of thinking, we accumulate virtue. Independence on a different way of thinking, we accumulate non-virtue.
저기 셰바스나레 로세나레 리파세나 로세리 라고 제상당 삼롱아 좀 미지다 삼로세데 세데 자도 되차 콘로 아야 마릭발란 차사데 셰바나리오 로나리오 제상 되는 자다나 로간에 찔리 야두로 시에나 로간에 간에 용고래 아니 간에 야가 간데 두가 가리에서 간줄야 안에 지기 nor 데니게 간줄야 지 코로나야다 디 노야게 몽고 제 레사야게 삼로 가네시 때네 로 가네시레 때네 마저 레사이고 오레스 로 가네시 요나 간줄 레마사와제 내가 야보디 레투고 오레스 지지디 제가 로디 파 가네시레세 데가 로디기다 르 납샤디 파 예와 체제 당할 간시 로디 디 야가 디레 누가 디레 판도에 디제 판마도에 디레 샤선비 로디 가서 예와체네 모신고 고로와 디 모신고 고엔자 당은 저 로리게 남샤디 시에데 디차고로와 로
What's then, as just been mentioned, is that if we achieving the causes for happiness or suffering comes about in dependence on a way of thinking, a virtuous or a non-virtuous way of thinking. Another way to express thinking is to use the term knower, to use the term awareness, to use the term consciousness. So whether these are virtuous or non-virtuous, we can refer to them as knowers, awareness, or consciousness. So anger, attachment, ignorance, you can call these consciousnesses, awarenesses, knowers. So these ways of thinking that we have, whether they're virtuous or non-virtuous, better or worse, they are what lead to the accumulation of positive karma, or virtue, or negative karma, non-virtue. So these different ways of thinking, we need to come to understand. We need to gain knowledge of this, come to understand this. And these ways of thinking are, we can call, our awarenesses, our knowers, our consciousness. Hence we need to study this topic called awareness and knowers, or in Tibetan, Lorig.
유다 유제세 완전 로데를 유제세 되는 거 신유 고야게 하고야게 유데를 유제 유대 유제 니제 다 로데를 파 예와 체도 대살 마서는 로릭 뒤에서 대선 뒤나를 뒤르고래 다 로릭 망고 예배나는 차선 주 뒤변 뒤나를 뒤용으로 뒤나를 뒤어도 로릭 뒤에 가려나 모숨세다 제바 아니 제시 되는 거래 이제 되는 나라망아봐 태som lokshi se denegi rikdun shi gore tisa lo rikdun se da so
When we started looking at this topic last year, at the beginning of the text we saw there the title of the text in Tibetan Lorig, or in English Awareness and Knowers. Or there's a longer title, which we have right at the beginning, and it says here, objects and object possessors, as well as awareness and knowers. So this refers to different ways that we can divide consciousness and come to know it. So the first, for the greater division that we started with was dividing phenomena into object and object possessors. So objects which are known by something, which is an object possessor. That which possesses its object, which knows its object, is an object possessor. And we started looking at objects, and then we divided object possessors. So that was one division that we looked at. Another way of dividing it is what we've referenced a few times, is the sevenfold division of awareness and knowers. So this is a way that all awarenesses and knowers can be divided into 7, and we've starting to go through some of these. So we've looked at direct perception, we'll come to inferential cognizers, as well as correct assumptions, and always forget one. Correct assumption, subsequent cognizers, that one, non-ascertaining awarenesses, doubt, and wrong consciousnesses. So some of these we've looked at, started to look at, others we've just referred to, and others we are yet to come to. We looked a little while ago, started to look at direct perception. We looked at direct perception a little while ago, and one can divide that in different ways. The simpler division was into 2, mental direct perceivers and sense direct perceivers.
다 무슨 세야다 저기 원비용 무슨다 이용 무슨 세야다 가서 무슨 데라 가서 말에 무슨 데라 이게 니 말에 시체로 와다 같은 가서 원비용 가서 무슨 데라 예와 체하는 거 저기 가서 원비용 무슨 아니 이용 무슨 라딩 무슨 나중 무슨 진에 시치고로 와다 근데 무슨 되게 무슨 라도 그런 바이와 체나 디나리아 원비용 무슨 세야다 이용 무슨 세야다 라딩 무슨 나중 무슨 시리고래.
That's really not the way the text divided, so let's rather stick with what we have in the book. So we saw there on page 3 that direct perception is divided into two: sense direct perceivers, mental direct perceivers, self-knowing direct perceivers, and yogic direct perceivers. So of the sevenfold division of awareness and knowers, this is the first, and it's divided into these four.
원병 무슨 세야 될라야 내가 저기 예바디 예와체데 세마 제시 나나망해 봐. 네, 세 숨치기로 가서 원병 무슨 될라가 좀 미기 원병 무슨 되게 봐 유도의 당보도 바디 세마체 디게지 니바디 당보도선 게지 니바디 숨바디 제시시. 근데 유디 된지다 맞아 싸와 나와 있나야 유디야 해봐 또 맞투바 있나 나라망에 봐선 대원 봉었으면 돼야 세마 제시 나라망에 봐서 그때 디나리 예와는 마스나 개발 쓰는
Still on page 3, we see that sense direct perceivers are divided into three. And so there's the threefold division is the first, which are valid cognizers that are sense direct perceivers, subsequent cognizers that are sense direct perceivers, and non-ascertaining awarenesses that are sense direct perceivers. So valid cognizers that are sense direct perceivers refers to the very first moment of a sense direct perceiver. So the first moment is a valid cognizer. The second and subsequent moments is the next division, subsequent cognizers that are sense direct perceivers. So the second and subsequent moments of the sense direct perception are subsequent cognizers that are sense direct perceivers. And the third division, non-ascertaining awarenesses that are sense direct perceivers, is where the object appears to a sense direct perceiver but isn't ascertained, isn't realized. So therefore the object has appeared but not being apprehended. And this is a non-ascertaining awareness that is a sense direct perceiver. We've also then looked at the subdivisions of the other three types of direct perception. And mental direct perceivers and self-knowing direct perceivers, like sense direct perceivers, have the same three divisions. The first moment of which is a valid cognizer. The second and subsequent moments are subsequent cognizers, and then they have a non-ascertaining division where the object appears but isn't ascertained. And then on page 5, we came to the yogic direct perceivers. Here, there's a difference in the division in that there are only two. Valid cognizers that are yogic direct perceivers and subsequent cognizers that are yogic direct perceivers. 완봉을 숨기? 양켜 성을
생이세다 야와루셰
완봉을 완봉을 숨기 채마
데도와 투모 다겐도 집에 온보 수전발에 되네죠 또바들 서도 밀리르바 완봉을 생이 니 생이 완봉을 숨기 채매 생이서 와 채매 생이 안데라이나 당은 저 완봉을 숨기 채매 생이 들래 그지 다 이용을 숨기 채매 생이다 채시 라는 것은 심해 생이 생시 나중 것은 심해 생이 차례다. 내가 소리 이 나네 시나네다 가서 아주 왕병 것은 심해 생이다. 야와디 얘기를.
Then we came to page 6, direct valid cognizers. So this term now you would have just heard again, because the first division of those of the direct perceivers always was a direct valid cognizer, and now we come to those divisions. So you could say they've been extracted and here are being focused on. And we looked at the first few of them, and again, because there's this close relationship between the first division we have as A, and now on page 6 we have B, the direct valid cognizers, because the direct valid cognizers come from what we had on pages 3, 4, and 5. So we looked at the definitions of the self-knowing direct valid cognizer, sense direct valid cognizer, at those two.
that Geshe China Yorwa, Geshe Yorwa, that in a Sardula that Tambor Topa de la Yoda, Shandadi, Don Nipa getting you somebody gets Sama Marella or she's not Koronga Dagin de Wambungosumgi, Semige Dagin Garcia, Wambu Suchem Bachiliki, Gavades, Della Tene, give you Topa than Travache, and there you the Sardo topic, Rivachilla, and Wambungos in Sama like it is.
So if we compare, now let's look at sense direct valid cognizers, and we can compare that. I'll just read the definition of the sense direct valid cognizer, but you can compare it to the definition later of the sense direct perceiver on page 3, and you'll see they're very, very similar. But we're looking now on page 6 at the definition of a sense direct valid cognizer, a new incontrovertible non-conceptual knower that arises in dependence upon a physical sense power that is its uncommon empowering condition. So the second bullet point here of this definition is shared with the definition of a sense direct perceiver. There is some difference in the first bullet point, because here we have this word new and the word incontrovertible. So this is not shared with the previous definition, or the definition of a sense direct perceiver. And because we have the word new, we know that it refers to only the first moment. And if it's the first moment that the object is realized, it's a direct valid cognizer. And that we saw on page 3 with the sense direct perceiver, where it's divided into 3, of which the first division was direct valid cognizers, which are sense direct perceivers. And that's what we're looking at here now on page 6, that first division. Hence, we have the word new here, because having the word new makes it explicit that subsequent cognizers are excluded, because subsequent cognizers cannot be new and therefore cannot fulfill the definition, because subsequent cognizers refer to the second and subsequent moments and therefore cannot be new.
And the Tinila started Milu said La Viadida and Jaramawada, Gasore, started Milu Rigba Lagendi, Dodia Bada, and the Semzambada, and the Umar Rajuba Chasangi, and then started Milu Ribas in the Bijitangore, Tingisha Chibaranga, Tumotagin Jube, Ombo Suchimba Latine Juve, Toba that Dajan started Milu Ribas, Timetin Shagandi, Dodia Bache, Semzambache, Umar Rajuba Chibare.
Wampungen zum Gizema, Wampungen zum Gizema. Wampungen zum Gizema. And this definition here of the sense direct valid cognizer is something that is shared with the Sautrantika school, as well as the Chittamatra school and the Svatrantika school. So these 3 schools, they hold this division, this definition of a sense direct valid cognizer.
That Uma Tunjubayina, Delia, Saudu said, Labgoma, Divasha, and Shandachiba, Rangi Tumoma, Takin, the Jubi, Umbo Sujamba, Latin, Jewish, Tobadan, Draishi, Miluripa, Lagorda, the Saudu said, Pasha, Miluripas, Koto Tani, 균중부 조반나다 당보 도마나 니바드는 숨바까지 조반나 또 사는 거 참아래라고 되니비기 진짜 사도 인지미 당보 인고 말해라 되는 사도 세 파샤제네 밀리리 파스
Prasangika have almost the same definition. They just leave out the term new. So their definition starts, an incontrovertible, non-conceptual knower that arises in dependence upon a physical sense power, that is its uncommon empowering condition. So Prasangika exclude the term new. They say it's not necessary. When the object is realized in each moment, we don't need to differentiate between the first moment and subsequent moments. Each moment is a realization. It's not necessary to make such a distinction.
나 제라마와기 가르송고라스네 텔리아 리바실레고 말 다 잔다치바르레 똑바 가소레 밀루아시 저거 랑이 투모메메 다겐도 유베 온보수쳔발레 띠네 주메 네 사도 라기네다 밀루아세 저거레 진짜 텔리아 리바인고 말레세 거다 밀루아세 저거레
예 사두 랍게레
사두 랍나말라나 키멘다
And then the remaining tenet is that of the Prasangika, that of the Vaibhashika. And why they don't accept the definition that we have here is because they say the sense direct valid cognizer does not have to be a knower. So they exclude the term knower. So they exclude knower, which is this consciousness. They say it doesn't have to be a knower.
세마들 인지미지 리파인 셰바인 고고 말해서 지난 원보 수전 버거로 세마리라고 유튜브 그래서 원보 수전 버거로 그 유튜브 그래서 지난고 셰바 말해 리파 말해 지난 세마라 리파인 고고 말 리파야 요래서 리파 인고야 말해라고.
So their definition is the same as we have here, but excludes the word knower, the Vaibhashika. And this is because they say that it's not a knower or consciousness and awareness. It is not required for the object to be realized. Can of course be realized by a consciousness or an awareness or a knower, but it can also be realized by a sense power. So because a physical sense power. So because the Vaibhashikas say that a sense power, a physical sense power, can realize an object, they therefore exclude the word knower from their definition. Whereas the Prasangika, they excluded the word new, and the other schools accepted the definition as it is, the Sautrantikas, Chittamatrans, and Svatrantikas. When one divides sense direct valid cognizers, as we see on the middle page 6, there are 5 divisions. And these each relate to the varying sense powers. So there's sense direct valid cognizers apprehending forms, apprehending sound, smell, taste, and touch, or tactile objects.
데 dordi 마도요 마키진 가르슨 디니엘이야 원봉원숨기 세마다 예와 망고 셰살와된 세메 칭이차데 dordi 마차 마 디니엘이야 원봉원숨 샤 원봉원숨레 예와 마치 레레 셰살와 진짜 세메 칭이데 서두 세 자야마도 태와 자야마도 헨 니마 셰바는 지와 차대로 인자 델리아 dordi시마도 숨고
because sense direct valid cognizers are included within, on page 3, the sense direct perceivers, but in the first of the 3 divisions, valid cognizers that are sense direct perceivers, here on page 6 we look at them in very briefly, because on page 3 we looked at sense direct perceivers in some detail. Now we're just pulling out one of that 3-fold division, and because it's important, so they all there on page 6, but we don't need to look at it in too much detail here, and hence the text doesn't present it in much detail, because it was covered in more detail previously.
that nene rangi tumo mayimbe dagin no gyube yongale tene jume toba dan jajin sadu milu riba se de yong smi tsime tsingi that toba sadu milu a se jayong ba da chama tsime tsing sha song re
Ja, det kan det tini dumping det chit bode, Now the third one, mental direct valid cognizers. Here we have the definition: a new, incontrovertible, non-conceptual knower that arises in dependence upon a mental sense power that is its uncommon empowering condition.
Dela ena na zuzi yungon chama so chama juye so zuzi yungon chama jazi yungon ye chama dene dizimbi yungon yi yungon sum chama rojimbi yungon sum chama rajazimbi yungon sum chama dene do sene da che zimbi yungon sum chama sene da yi yu de la su zha di ro raja che sen juye ba yanza dinashi yu re do bi yungon sum chama re jin jugli ro jena suzi yungon so chama so juye sum do.
Then we see here there are 6 divisions for mental direct valid cognizers. Mental direct valid cognizers apprehending forms and so forth. Forms and so forth then refers to first the 5 sense objects of the senses. So we have form, smell, touch, taste, tangible objects, and then the 6th one is phenomena.
Ligore delia tadi najong osme chime chingi chade des maro kisin najong osme chingi chade rang tumo me da yin de gibi shila sonri ge tinge zile de ne jeba kha to ba dan jashin an ma chue pha gi chen ba sen najong osme chingi chade wa ta delia chingi chade des ma la shu de rangi tumo mai rangi da yin de gibi ge shila sonri ge de chawi midabada ganzage damye chara ganu ngosum no sardo tobe phagyi shenji kemba sene de najong osme chime chingire.
We come to the 4th direct valid cognizer, the yogic direct valid cognizer. So we'll read the 2 definitions together, that of the yogic direct perceivers at the top of page 5 and the yogic direct valid cognizers on page 6. So we'll see then. So the yogic direct perceiver on page 5, remember, had those just 2 divisions, and the first of that is valid cognizers that are yogic direct perceivers, and that is defined here at the bottom of page 6. So we'll first read the definition of the yogic direct perceiver: that which is generated in dependence on its own uncommon empowering condition, a stabilization that is a union of calm abiding and meditative insight, and is an other knowing, exalted knower in the continuum of an area that is non-conceptual and unmistaken. Now when we come to the definition of the yogic direct valid cognizer, it's a little more extensive. An other knowing, exalted knower in the continuum of an area that, in dependence upon a stabilization that is the union of calm abiding and meditative insight, and its uncommon empowering condition, newly and directly realizes either subtle impermanence or the coarse or subtle selflessness of persons. So here you can see with these 2 definitions, they have parts in common, and then in the yogic direct valid cognizers there are additional parts.
yu gare na jung osum di yu doye de chema de gar to gors chawi mita ba to gores ane gaza de me rakba to gores gaza de me chamo to gor de ne ge to bi ge chema sin ba yu di fa ja de jin na jung osum ge cheme chin de yu di ma ja wa de yu ja na di go de ina ju yu ja yu di su yo mo su su yo ma ro wa ti da de le ya yu di ja ne su go da de la rang ge da jin de ju be shi la sun de ye ting ye zin la tin de chawi mita ba da gaza da me chara garo ngosum de sardo topi ki phagi kemba la wa ta seme ching sha de ka so re ngosum ching sha de da de ya rang ge thumo da ge de ki shila sun de ting zila ne thai mita ba da gaza da me chara garo du jimbi la shin di go da jimbi ge to ba de ma thu phagi kemba la shin di go ro che ngosum de la kha sene 유디 챙이셔도 유기디 마시바시 다들 체면 챙이셔도 유기 캐버지 유디 양념도 잔 손바래 던달라 지바래 다들 사도 랍샤나지 사도 람마라 캐마듯이 사도 랍샤네 말랍나 나중 오숨기 모숨이 챙이 차로 그래 가정 나중 오숨들라 유도가 잡으러 가서 제마다 지신이마도 요마 나라마가 요마 내와자랑에 투모면 다기는 실어서 띵해진다 되는 게 차위 미다바다 가자다며 찾아가로 가론 모습도 또비 파기 캠발은 사도 말랍나 파기 캠발라지나 나중 오숨이 챙이 차사래
To talk about then what differentiates these definitions, so we look here on page 6 at the definition, and there are 3 bullet points. So what differentiates is primarily contained in the 3rd bullet point. So it says here newly and directly. So this then makes it clear that we're referring to a direct valid cognizer, because it's new, so it's only referring to the first moment. So in the yogic direct perceiver, in that definition, it doesn't talk about newly. And that is because there are 2 divisions, valid and subsequent. Subsequent are not new. But what we have on page 6 is only the first division, the valid cognizers that are yogic direct perceivers. And that is what's defined on page 6, hence new, because it only refers to that first moment. And then the second part, which is new in this definition, is the rest of this 3rd bullet point, which refers to the objects that are realized by a yogic direct perceiver, because a yogic direct perceiver doesn't necessarily realize any old object. And in the definition of a yogic direct valid cognizer, then the 3 objects are explicitly stated: subtle impermanence, core selflessness of persons, or subtle selflessness of persons. If that wasn't included here, the objects weren't included, it would still function as a definition. But what should be very clear is that because we have here newly, that is referring explicitly to a yogic direct valid cognizer.
와비용어숨이 체마다 이용어숨이 체마려 수자디로 려자 안체 또야게 뭐도고르바 수도베나중 가서 이용어숨나 와비용어숨나 자도베나 와비용어숨 이용어숨 열에서 시고르바 지자다 그래서 난중어숨 들라 되네 또 비고 요 말에서 하고 얘기 된다라 난중어숨이 또 유디 그래서는 야나 처위 미다 와인고 그래서 야나 가서 담에 라과도 야나 가서 담에 참어디마도 되네지마도 신 수도 베나 중어숨 자도 베나 중어숨 되네지 요 말에서 다디 하고 얘기 된다라 유디 념도 잔을 송샤기 김선디린 서와 미다 와서 난중어숨 또 유디라 야나 미다 와인고 그래서 야나 가서 담에 라과도 그래 야나 가서 담에 참어도 얼마도 되네지 또 얼마도 셴다 안에 수다 분바다 가와다 신다 메도도 베나 중어숨 되네게 자도 베나 중어숨 되네 샤기 말해서 그러다 디 하고 얘기 된다라 유디 념도 잔을 송샤도와.
And of course, the objects of a yogic direct perceiver, a yogic direct valid cognizer, are explicitly stated for a reason. Not they aren't included in definition for no purpose. In the when we've looked at sense and mental direct perceivers, we saw that there were a variety of divisions, and they could have a variety of objects, therefore, and they could observe form or sound, smell, etc., a variety of differing objects. But here, in the yogic direct valid cognizer, the inclusion of these 3 objects explicitly states, or makes it explicitly clear, manifestly clear, that a yogic direct perceiver doesn't just apprehend any old form or sound or smell or taste, but it's these 3 objects. It's these 3 objects that a yogic direct valid cognizer realizes. Hence, these objects are explicitly included in the definition.
나중에 다ien 세디 나중에 그 다ien 가라스는 실라소리 띵에 센스도 다 실라소리 띵에 센스도 야나 다음에 발음이 비실라 다음에라 미비 신내시 디 신내디 안에 제바치네 다메라 미베 라동 토토긴 제 다메라 미베 시네다 라동 손도 TV 로친 거래 데네게 로디 곰발라 데네 나중어스 뭐 주고 거래 제가 나중어스 세대 파베길마도 요 말 제가 파바세데 파바마차 녀레네 가사 디귤라 아네 가소리 다메 또베기 다메라 미베 시네다 다메라 미베 라동 토고 거래 제가 디네게 톱차네 디네 시네디 야응어스 뭐 주고로 응어스 뭐 주도 된 나중어스 세대 차고래.
Let's now look at some of the rest of the definition here. So in the second bullet point, independence upon a stabilization that is the union of calm abiding and meditative insight, and is its uncommon empowering condition. So the uncommon empowering condition here is a stabilization that is a union of calm abiding and meditative insight. That is the uncommon or the unique empowering condition of a yogic direct perceiver. So the calm abiding, we know, is single pointed concentration. Meditative insight, previously I translated as special insight, other translators use penetrative insight. And you remember these two are where the object is held single pointedly, calm abiding, and whilst being held single pointedly, one can engage in analytical meditation, meditative insight. And the union means both are present together. The object is held single-pointedly while it's analyzed. So that is the meaning, that is what the uncommon empowering condition is. But what's important is what we've just looked at in the third bullet point, what the object is. Because there's a wide variety of objects that can be held by the union of calm abiding and meditative insight, but that a mind that is doing so is not necessarily a yogic direct perceiver. It has to be one of these objects, such as coarse or subtle selflessness of persons. And so it has to be one of these three objects, which is held by the union of calm abiding and meditative insight. And therefore, a yogic direct perceiver is only in the continuum of an Arya being, which we have here in the definition in the first bullet point. Because it's only an Arya being that has a stabilization that is the union of calm abiding and meditative insight, realizing subtle impermanence or the coarse or subtle selflessness of phenomena. So when the second and third bullet points are put together, it becomes clear that that can only be in the continuum of an Arya being or a noble being.
냠린 제네 람당보 토면도 초람시가 토고로 초람세 지상 초람세 토면도 데니기 람데라 미다바도 비기 초람요레 다음에 바도 비기 초람요레 지상 다음에 바 미비 신이요레 다음에 또네 다음에 발리 미비 제신이비 신이 토고 용요레 이나 다음에 발리 미비 라도세데 토요 말에 지상 초람바티겠어 다 다음에 발리 신이 다음에 발리 미비 신이 디가네 다음에라 미비 학동 줍네 학동도 깨어도 실라소도 깨어도 전란 바세에 차도 거래.
The five mental paths to be developed by yogis. The first is the path of accumulation. So when the path of accumulation is attained, then there'll be objects such as impermanence that are realized, objects such as selflessness which are realized. And the yogi or yogini who has achieved the path of accumulation will also have achieved already calm abiding. And their calm abiding, they will be able to place on selflessness. So they've realized selflessness with calm abiding, with the mind of calm abiding, but not with meditative insight. So in other words, they are able to realize selflessness and hold that realization single-pointedly, but whilst holding it single-pointedly, they are not able to continue their analysis. When they can do so, when they can hold a realization of selflessness single-pointedly, which is with the mind of calm abiding, and continue to analyze without losing their single-pointed concentration, that is when they have the union of calm abiding and meditative insight on the object, on selflessness. Deni kondegena, deni konso jolam truptu, deni konso dakmedang sinedang laktong yore.
지상 초람 예내갑수 다음에 두고래 다음에 미비 신이 요래 있마도 학동 요 말에서 학동 줄레기 어디 된 졸람 바차로 그래지
예니 디 숭절 요래 숭절
학동 톱도 실학송에 톱사로
되네 사보고서 거라. So just making sure. So when the path of preparation, the second of the five paths is achieved, that what marks the boundary of achieving the path of preparation, the progression from the path of accumulation, is that the union of calm abiding and meditative insight is placed on the object selflessness. Whereas prior to that, on the path of accumulation, only calm abiding was holding the realization of selflessness, but it was without meditative insight.
바르레라나 나한테 지시세들이 로릭 뒷나데 대가서 뭐 젤리리와 지시차고 그래서 맞아 체마 말에다 지시돼. 다디니기 실라순리 졸람비기 담에 또비기 담에라미 실라순리 야네 곰제네. 디니 다데 똑바로 하고 된시나 담에도 된시나 제네 나도 그래. 지상고 야네 야도 곰비기 곰여도 가슴질라 된시나 맞아와 사와 낭제네. 근데 또요도 근데 된지나 말아 싸워 또야 돼 당보 또야 돼 참아차다 그래. 그래서 당보 된지나 말아 싸워 당보 또야 돼 참아래 나중 없으면 참아차서 나중 없으면 참 디로디 나중 없으면 참아서 뭐 주어래. 근데 나중 디 나중 없으면 뭐 주디 간사디 팍파서 차서 밥에 간사 차서래.
Deni kong jolam topdu, deni kong kongi tokpa de cheshe de.
cheshe wa jolam ine ga so cheshe de dame to.
Konsu mi sema tok nyong yo mare.
De shine to yu wa de tokpa wa ko cheshe wa. dame la mi bi shila song ri gi cheshe de tokpa ko. 지상 다 된지다 제네 난 거로. 지상 다 곰 가슴 찔러 된지다 맞아와 다음에 된지다 맞아와 싸와 또 용도 사와도 당보도 이제 참아와도 나중 없으면 참아샤서래. 제가 된지다 맞아와 사와 또비 또바도 참아샤서래. 무슨 참아. 뒤에 나중 없으면 참아샤서래. 내 강사디 밥에 강사샤서래지.
So this realization that marks the progression from this the mental path of accumulation to that the mental path that is the path of preparation is when the union of calm abiding and meditative insight is achieved on the object selflessness. This realization of selflessness is a subsequent cognizer. It is a conceptual consciousness because it is mixed with a meaning generality, or what I used to translate as a mental image. It's mixed with a meaning generality. Then, as the yogi or yogini develops their meditation, so they continue with their progression of the union of calm abiding meditative insight on the object selflessness, eventually they will come to realize selflessness directly, which means it's no longer a conceptual consciousness, it's a direct perceiver. And that means it's not mixed with a meaning generality. And it's at this moment that they give rise to a yogic, direct, valid cognizer realizing selflessness, and they become an Arya being. Because that is the moment that they have a direct realization of selflessness. And that is when they become an Arya being. And when they achieve, when they arise now as an Arya being, that too marks the crossing the boundary into the third mental path, that of the path of seeing. So this then is the progression through the first three of the five paths of accumulation, preparation, and seeing.
차위입니다. 옹숨도 배체마. 내 가사 다음에 라봉옹숨도 배체마. 근데 가사 다음에 참옹숨도 배 나중 옹숨이 체마하시네. 여왕옹숨 체마 숨리고 그래.
And you see, as you see at the bottom of page 6, there are 3 divisions to yogic direct perceivers. Valid cognizers directly, maybe it should be yogic direct valid cognizers directly realizing subtle impermanence, yogic direct valid cognizers directly realizing the core selflessness of persons, and yogic direct valid cognizers directly realizing the subtle selflessness of persons.
차위 미다바 옹숨도 배 체마스 나중 옹숨이 체마시 그래. 차위 미다바 옹숨도 배 체마세데. 다 차위 미다바 옹숨도 배 체마들 나중 옹숨도 요말 샤다 요말다. 차위 미다바 옹숨도 배 체마시. 다 차위 미다바 옹숨도 배 체마라데 미다바들라 차라망고 연구로하다. 제가 미다바 라바라고 또 봐서 나중 옹숨 차기 말해라래. 다 나중 옹숨 차야라. 다 유디를 가서 미다바 참모도 연구 그래지래.
That first division of yogic direct valid cognizers realizing subtle impermanence. Here what we need to understand is a couple of things. Firstly, that subtle impermanence is only realized by a yogic direct perceiver. And impermanence itself has many layers of subtlety. So you can divide impermanence in terms of subtlety across many divisions.
다 차위 미다바 또야지 차위 미다바 또야지 배마시 예 전부 쉬우차고래 알아서 차위 미다바 또야지 또바이나 코와랑 예중기야라 예중 숙심부기 두어래 코와랑 예중기야 코와랑 예버주 예중기야는 타바도니게 라마 로제 삼르기 돈이 듬바도 숙셔주고래 타바도니 듬바디 숙셔 저와이나 타바도베 람 냠len 제야라 숙셔 누바다 가소래 냠len 배수 셔주고래 지자들이 인자 미다바도야디 메마시게 기에치 몽아족에 람 냠len 제야라 담보호로네 미다바디 롭장 셔고야 되게 치모 셔고래
The realization of subtle impermanence is actually something of great importance, in that when this realization is achieved, then it adds great strength to the mind of the practitioner, in particular the mind of definite emergence, this commitment to strive for liberation. So here when subtle impermanence is realized, then the practitioner will strive with ever greater vigor to attain liberation from cyclic existence, because they will have come to realize, because through realizing subtle impermanence, they will see that they can later realize selflessness. It will give them the confidence that selflessness, they can themselves realize selflessness. The understanding of selflessness will not appear distant or theoretical, but something that they have now great confidence they can realize, and therefore they have great vigor in their practice. Hence, for those starting out, those who aspire to enter into the paths, then the training in impermanence is of great importance for those who are starting out as well.
간치 라고레스네 아니 그런 길이 갑다 규단 kiến chỉ là 对些 개와 그런 규단 kiến 라마 되바 매바치 규단 kiến chỉ là 对的 기고래 규단 kiến chỉ là 对呢 아니 그 매바치 고제데 아니 간치 차고스는 유어도 끼지끼지 유어도 버리마도 그 유어마도 버준에 유어 말해 그 끼지끼지 유어도 버렸어 진짜 되니게 규단 kiến là 对呢 끼지끼지 마 유어도 해야 되라 되니게
When one comes to, and as one develops one's understanding of impermanence, one is developing the understanding that impermanent phenomena come about in dependence on causes and conditions. They are not causeless, but come about in dependence on causes and conditions. Moreover, as one develops one's understanding of impermanence, one comes to see that all impermanent phenomena change momentarily. Not just the coarse change that we can observe, but they change momentarily. They don't remain static. They're always going through this constant process of change. And this is the meaning, this understanding of momentary change is the understanding of impermanence.
Dine zada mitaba rakwa khashe kan zu ga hagu gorwa pene singl ma sona dangbo ma ji ma sabon tab nga twendol ma sona ma sabon tab ti tab de sabon tabala dine dela dine nyugudi kyawache nyugudi ke ya che medo sha ne devota dine gazam jila ta san khoro da kam ning bo cha ma jine gazam jili ma ri je chana me ba cha do ya de ko yuwa gili jine yuwa do ba de dine ki mitaba tinga ju ge ha go go ba.
Course impermanence is something that we all clearly understand. The illustration often given, you plant a seed, treat it well or treat it correctly, appropriately, it will sprout, and then continuing to have the right conditions, it will grow into a tree, and later it will wither and die. So this understanding is an understanding of impermanence, but of course impermanence.
제가 데니가 하고 고거든 데니기 유어도난 참모데 하고 고거 말하는 저기 배네 지신을 막 끼어는 니미직을 양아도 유어도바디 샤샤 하고 추제지 나로고 유어도고 바디 가서 하고 오면도 제가 대지 쇼게 매도여도 공타여 지비지야로 가상에 매도디 디린데 지비지야로 통되고 말도 유어도 통면도 가지고 제가 데니기 아니 추제지 깔마직 나로 앞에 끼지끼지 유어도고 딩아서 하고 두고 말해.
Subtle impermanence, this momentary change, this is not something that we have come to realize. When we see an object, even if it's something as obviously impermanent as the flower we see today and the flower we saw yesterday, we think it's the same flower. We don't think it's changed. We don't even think it changes hour by hour. If we were to see that, we'd be surprised. So this shows how we have our understanding of impermanence. Our realization of impermanence is incredibly coarse, and how distant we are from having an understanding of subtle impermanence. Impermanence, we've heard, comes a phenomena that are impermanent, change momentarily, independent on causes and conditions. So this we've just mentioned. The phenomena that are not impermanent are those which are permanent. Those which are impermanent, they change momentarily. Those which are permanent do not change momentarily. So the meaning of the word permanence is that it doesn't change momentarily.
가사 여바든 가상기 가디 디링디에 다가 인직바 인섬 거로 와가지고 나저 삼나 디요래 디 딱진래 제가 가상기 예만 가지고 아미 기디기 부디 다들 가지고 말해 가지고 첨보로 와 아미 기디 부디 춘춘마도요 말 제가 가상기 미디 가지고 미디 조사래 거 가서 매바 차서 디링디 지 가상기 디 윤치만 싸와 차리마도 가상데 말해 가지고 삼나 가서 가사다 디링이가 직바래 섬대 거로 마음 보는 하지 마디네 로추 니슈 숨주 로 드긴 섬 거로 이나 말아서 다디딩 알아서디 기지 도로 거로 마도 되고 마디 균치마도 두고 마도 되고 말아 지상 알아서 섬 나려야 예만에 다디 봐도 요래 너는 알로마 디니스 되게 했으면 배삼로디 가사 나디 디르다가 인섬 배삼로 줘로 와 니 딱선세 최고 딱선세자 지상 안주기 미다 받아 하 먹어 앉아 니 딱선세.
And again, which illustrates our lack of understanding of impermanence, or lack of realization of impermanence, is how we grasp at its opposite, how we grasp at permanence, at things not changing. So we're all sitting here, and if we reflect back on the continuity of this life, we were all born from a mother, and we are here now. And we hope, so that was the past, we have the present, and we hope to be here for some years still. But where our grasping of permanence comes in here is we see that the self, that our infant self, our now grown-up self, and the self that's yet to come, we see this as the same. We don't really, we see ourselves as the self of yesterday, ourselves of yesterday and today and tomorrow as the same. So it's this is this grasping at permanence that we have. And this grasping at permanence causes us many difficulties.
Dine dozen yobanza ngalo zuge dozen di wangi an ngal to karche horsen nga chike lo tu Jesus part ma de degree some dine degree some be dozen yobanza and di dozen di some lo de lo she de nga zui de mo je li ro nga zuge da de xin nga zu Lorig dun na ne tama de lo she de ma on de nga zu di some lo de lo she se che ko dozen de lo she de loxie de di lo no chu cha de je san di lo no chu zen de la de ne nga zu ge ani ji so su ge gang a che ya de xi ye ge sam gyun ne ma ho chen ne xian ya ne be ji ya de xian ji jia la chuo ya xian ye ya ne ji gu hua da ya ji sam lo ji ge ma ji de ne li jian jin li go lo wa.
Grasping at permanence in this way, we grasp that, oh, I hope I'll live to 70 or 80 or 85 years in this life. And this is a wrong consciousness. This, when we mentioned earlier the sevenfold division of Lorig, the seventh was this one, wrong consciousness, and we'll come to it later. And it's independent on this wrong consciousness that we procrastinate, that we waste so much of our time and our energy, our life. And this is because we haven't come to realize impermanence, the impermanence of this life. And not realizing the impermanence of this life, not only do we waste our time, we waste our opportunity, but we engage in non-virtuous actions, deceiving others, taking advantage of others, and so forth.
지게 시바이나 아니 마오바나 아니 동아주 요하야들 깨바이나 야고민도 델레 타고도 선배 삼례도 델레 타예게 탑시디 아니 최제들이 세대 최된 거로 봐. 제 최세야 아 저기 가르서는 개위 삼로 야바 현래 펜베 삼바다 삼바 상보지 깨바이나 디 최제 거로. 최단 디바단 개와세야디 디 제부 마오바나 동아주 요하야기 지 로치 기회나 딜로디 디바서 그래. 디 제보 동안여야게 리고바나 디바래. 다 딜로 디기 로 딜레 때네 아니 뭐바네 제보 디기 여야게 지 연구여바네 딜로디 개화차 그래. 제가 땅에서 개화 동아 디바 빵고래서야디 갈라고 해서 뭐바네 동안여야게 로디 매가서 그래서 그래. 디게 주요마 디가고 그래서 그래. 뭐바네 디기 여야게 유튜브 디기 여야게 로디 나서래 끼치고 디냠내죠 디누가 쳐당 그래서 제가 데네 인자 디기 영향이 규디 개와시고로 진짜 개와도 디바선 디발라나 디 제부 마음바는 동아계에게 레스나 삼노텔라 아니 개와 디바시래 로디기 제부 마음바는 디기 주야기 기구여바나 덴로디 개와차고 그래 제가 나서래 개와 동아 가서 디바 뽕고래서 디차고로
So independence on not having a realization of impermanence, we continue to waste this life. We continue not to think about the Dharma, but just to live a life in a very ordinary way. If one does, though, reflect well on impermanence, coming to see the certainty of death and the uncertainty of the time and the manner of our death, and that after death, rebirth will follow. And that rebirth can only be in one of two directions, either another good rebirth or falling into the realms of great suffering. When we really come to gain a profound understanding of this, so that it transforms us, our mind will be turned towards the Dharma naturally. And what it means to have your mind turned towards the Dharma, is naturally our mind will become softer, more spacious, more gentle, more kind-hearted. Where thoughts such as taking advantage of others, harming others, these will not arise as easily because we will know the results that come from these minds. Because in brief, suffering comes from negative karma, happiness comes from positive karma. Positive karma comes from a virtuous way of thinking, because from virtue comes happiness. Suffering comes from non-virtue, harmful ways of thinking, ways that are contrary to the Dharma. So when one has come to some realization of impermanence, such as the impermanence of this life, naturally we'll ensure our mind is in the direction of virtue because we will not want to fall into the lower realms in our next lives, because we will want to continue to our spiritual progression. And therefore, we will turn our minds towards virtue, creating causes for happiness. And in this way, with the mind turned towards the Dharma, with far greater ease, we will be able to discipline our mind, develop our virtuous minds, weaken and eliminate our non-virtuous minds. To express that differently, with far greater ease, we'll be able to accumulate positive karma and eliminate non-virtuous or negative karma.
Just midaba samdan nganza hago gomni midaba la jebaji midaba toba ina midaba kiji gu toru chesa da gedi maomba ne deri bar dugri se lapthuya yo mares chesa gedi chi meba chara hago yo mare gu ru res kiji gu ru chesa nimichi kien dugje theben nimichi shi ro yanga yo chesa di gu ru wenza digi mashi nyele del ya na ngazo kewa chima nga son ma dro yagi digi tu yagi kewa sa kwa de bezu je chimbu shudu san samno de leung de bezu chimbu chue la ane ko hab ya bori ragore benediro adamanga joge per chawe na chiki azo chala kyong deba ga je kyong wi ro da se ro da kyong deba ga da ga tin na len shos du se di ba de len yo res ben yingu chu chu yin ba de chu yin sa san le yo ma da la na di par de ni gi le ba ha go ba na ko du se de ya ho da ba da le gi ro da le ben ben sim chi bezu jin li ro ka se ne chu yu sa na di ra yo ma da sta ko hab yu di ka bla di ma len da pe sa gi san pe sam da ji ne ko bezu ji ro an di na xin a zu le ma xin a la shi da an zhuo sa de la nga song la ge ji da dian zhu le ge ni yo ma de ji san nga song la ge song ba na 개화서 고합라고 말. 지산 되는 현상 다들 맛이 니려야 아니 고합 유디 갑려야 아니 된줄이 개게 개화디 좀 마도 지금도 선비 삼로도 숙심 몰래제 디토는 배주 개화려야 배주 신부 죽두고 하래.
As one makes progress in one's meditation on impermanence, coming to understand momentary change, we'll come to see with great clarity that we have no basis to say with certainty that we will see tomorrow. Death can come at any moment because this life is impermanent. And if, to the extent that that realization dawns within us, to that extent we will know, to that extent we will ensure that our mind does not go in the direction of non-virtue. Because if we accumulate non-virtue now, our death could follow in the next moment, and that could be what propels our next rebirth. Moreover, because my death could come at any time, whatever opportunity or whatever length of time remains between now and my death, I must use it wisely. I must use it to accumulate virtue. I must use it to accumulate the causes of happiness. And every opportunity that I encounter, I must ensure that that is an opportunity to accumulate virtue. That is an opportunity to engage in with a mind that is virtuous. An analogy that makes this clear, an analogy that's often found in the texts, is if one is in a place filled with precious objects such as gold and diamonds, and if one knows that one is there only for a limited time, say for another few hours, one will use every moment as well as one can, accumulating as much of this wealth as possible. One will not waste a moment because one will see each and every moment as precious because one knows that that time, that opportunity is impermanent. So that is the type of thinking that one comes to attain through reflecting on impermanence. Because it's through this reflection on impermanence that one comes to see that this precious opportunity that we have achieved will end. And it can end at any moment because it is changing momentarily. And therefore, at any moment, there is still the possibility that I could fall into the lower realms, where not only will I suffer immensely, but I will not be able to accumulate virtue. Therefore, I must do so now. And I must do so continuously whilst I have this opportunity.
Midaba be some of the garret figures and Sulu Rochigors and Mahoban Diavanoyadang, and the Koyu Dumale Tayadang, Tarba the Temji Gomatoale, Pendo Rochigore. She said, Denisa, Tang to give some Nangi, Tapas in Metazindi, the Koyu Dunga Moro, Mahomba the Dunga More, Dunga Moranza, Dunga Rojike, Dunga because Gucci hinting out to the park up for it. She's not dancing in Mevasore. Dancing in Mevasore, can you see what is in Mitawa some down gom, Mitawa torche, Lodi Gomne, dancing in Mevasone mother, Shan Mevasore, Tamshio Mane. She's not Dinisa, not the Mitaba, dog, where the Mitaba some down gom where they give send the Rucha.
I mentioned earlier that there's permanence, impermanence, and permanence. Our realization of impermanence, that leads to one striving for liberation. It leads to a complete transformation of our way of thinking, a complete transformation of our priorities. We come to see that liberation is possible, that freedom from suffering is possible for us. That's what comes from meditating effectively on impermanence. On the other hand, if one stays where we are now, grasping at permanence, expecting things that are impermanent to remain, situations that are in their nature impermanent to be lasting, expecting them to last, this way of thinking is what keeps us bound in samsara. The opposite, realizing impermanence, is what leads us to attain liberation. But the opposite to that, the mind we currently have, this grasping at permanence, keeps us trapped in samsara in that we keep grasping at things that, as if they existed in a way which they do not. And therefore we keep accumulating the causes that lead to our suffering. We keep ourselves bound in samsara. So therefore, the one way of thinking, the realization that comes from reflecting on impermanence, leads to liberation. Whereas continuing to grasp at permanence leads us to continuing to create the causes that bind us in samsara. So wanting happiness, wanting to be freed from suffering, we need to accumulate the causes that lead to happiness and eliminate those that lead to suffering. And to do so, we need to start by abandoning our grasping at permanence. And how to do so? Meditate on impermanence.
당보 고추되네 미다바 나네 가지고 미다 락바는 마 안에 섬 당기도 참모들 이걸 마도냐 당보는 락바 섬마다 차이래요 맞지 되는사 락바는 섬도 치와 미다바스는 가지고 미께나 아미께 마도 스캔 거지 시루고요 바디 되네기 김천데 삼다디 공고리식으로 삼당고레 되는 마도 수저 차차차차 삼다로 거요.
We've been talking about here the topic of impermanence. You would have heard in your Lamrim teachings, because this is right near the beginning of the Lamrim text, the presentation on the impermanence of this life, or often translated as death and impermanence. And spiritual practitioners of any capacity, whether of initial capacity or intermediate capacity, or spiritual practitioners of supreme capacity, they all start with a meditation on impermanence. And this is because no matter what goal one desires, whether it is to become a Buddha for the sake of others, or liberation from suffering, or a good rebirth, one has to start with the same meditation on impermanence, because that is what gives the strength of mind and the confidence to the practitioner that one can spiritually progress. One can accumulate the causes for good rebirths and for liberation from suffering. And that strength of mind is required to transform our way of thinking, transform our priorities. So when one starts meditating on impermanence, one doesn't start with subtle impermanence, one starts with coarse impermanence. One thinks about that in this life, we were born, we immediately started to age, and that process has continued, and so forth. And we think then about impermanence on a coarse level. We observe this change, and then we think this change came about in dependence on causes. What are those causes? So we think about impermanence on a coarse level and its causes, and as we get more familiar, we start to progress to subtler levels. And in this way, going through such a sequence, we'll come to a subtle realization of impermanence.
Lorig Session na jong sum sia da chema sum chema de lia da ji ge wang bi sum chema yi yong sum chema sia da ra rong sum chema na jong sum chema du sun chema de rik mi da wa ru shi du de ne za chema de ne shi ore da na jong sum yi to yi di gar do wo re sa na yu mi da ba sia do wo re an ka sa da me sia do ra ba si de ka sa me chama sia do wo re sia du sam ta de ne gi dan na jong sum di Tambot Mitaba to win, and Mitaba sometimes Mitaba Dona Pando carrier, Mitaba Madovana, Kuan carrier as sometimes do. Just a Mitabadi, Mitaba di Kudan Jen like Dene, Kiji Jiba till Mitaba la Wars. Dene how go on Lodigi, how go by na, and Anzolia, and Gavaduala Pengores, and Taba the Tamjiki Mitoyala, Tiny Rugores. Then Mitaba Docho di Kudan Jen Lama Tuba. 그런 교육이네 저 기지기지 교육이네 저에 매대ken 여바질라 따발라 거래. 지난 디네게 따바디 가서 디네 삼다 디네 따바 짐바이나 나 세딩아 따바레 삼 짐바이나 지난 나 규단 규결라 맞여봐. 교육이네만 따바 진되바이나 델라데네 되자 공도 나게 담바라 계진 안디기 디바사는 코알랑 가서 깨라 디투고레스 온드네 자당 미다바스토에 계친보레샤 삼제데나 저기 미다바세디 당한 저기 치 통야기 당봉아 저기 지신 라서바다 데 삼데네데 끼는 모두 지루도 삼 나소서라 삼다나 소서가 데네 끼 다음에 당보기디가 추주주마도 요말 다데네야도 전에 셔셔셔셔도스는 교와데네진 로도와 다할람마서나 아주 두스는 니미지 매바 차루로 와서 제가 매바 차바이나 두스는 데네 지기요바다 삼다 디라파 삼다나제 다도 참마삼다 데네기네 아는 가세데 니메레니메를야 안에 지금도 지금 니메를 주주 줘고 디나시 까마직 나로 양아도 두스되어바네 대시 아주 쇼가 야라도 니잖아 야라제 쇼샤서데 두삼다데 대시 니잖아 니되게 딩아디 고다드 가서다 요 말했어 근데 니잖아 야라제 두로고 동쪽엔디 가서다도 요 말했어 당하다데 칼라 쇼샤 사시면 내가 나디 인스 다디 쇼샤 까마지제라 내가 디사간 대한 조제 조르고레스 진짜도 규어르고레스 도스네 기지기지 규어르서 삼다바이나 데니 미다바 삼다야 차고레 진짜도 스네 기지기지 지비 김센스 미텐디 송고고 미텐 베네 소소를 미텐 소바이나 다보 소소 nga 세 미텐 소제 당아 두 소소라랑 계산 기지 유어도도 삼단 간삼jel라 nga 세 기지 지레 미네바 유어도 되게 봐도 세부 하고 듭디 안에 미다바세야디 차차차 하고 되더니 미다바 참어도야게 고합하고 봐 되네자 되네게도 지네 기지 유어조다데 삼다야디 예치모차고래 디네 유어조다 삼다와이나 안에 가르팽고르스네 오당아도 유어도 디자 개왕의 개주의 마주보이나 아니 디네기 주야 고가 말하지 매바 착선데 뺏사사래 선비기 안 삼로디 리투고르바 디네 장아 저기 내 미다베 거 디네게 삼다야디 다 디링아 저기 데 럽센디게 디네게 삼다야디 예치모도와 안나 상이다 데 야게 미다바다데 가사다메 rahwa si ta ni gasa ta me chamo di korea sanyi yang to di ko shu lo.
So tonight we started with a review of what we've looked at, and culminating in looking at the direct value cognizers, which have these 4 divisions of self-knowing direct value cognizers, sense direct value cognizers, mental direct value cognizers, and now we've been looking at, or started to look at the yogic direct value cognizers. We see here that we looked at the definition of a yogic direct value cognizer, and we saw that a yogic direct value cognizer has to have one of 3 objects. And we've started to look at the first of those 3, yogic direct value cognizers, directly realizing subtle impermanence. And then tomorrow we'll start, we'll either continue from the first, or we'll start with the second, yogic direct value cognizers, realizing the core selflessness of persons. So in this meditation on impermanence that I'd really strongly encourage you to engage in, the meaning of impermanence is that phenomena are either permanent or impermanent. Those which are impermanent change momentarily. Those which are permanent do not change. This reflection on impermanence is of great importance, because it's through the realization of impermanence that one enters into the Dharma practices, into the paths of the Dharma. This realization of impermanence is a great aid in our accumulation of virtue. It's a great aid in us turning away from non-virtue. It gives us the confidence and strength of mind to know that we ourselves can achieve liberation. It leads to the arisal of definite emergence. On the other hand, though, this mind that grasps at permanence, that expects things that do change momentarily not to change, such as this lifespan, such as our good opportunities, this grasping at permanence at the very least leads us to waste our life. But it actually also leads to a tremendous amount, or our accumulation of non-virtue. Because grasping at permanence includes grasping at the self as being permanent, which means not seeing the self as dependent. Not seeing the self as dependent on, for example, causes and conditions. Seeing it as permanent leads to our arisal of all afflictions, such as anger and attachments and all the resulting non-virtue. So when we start our meditation on impermanence, start with the more obvious illustration, so we get used to the meditation, get used to that technique, and as we're becoming more familiar, we can move it to subtler objects. So we start with our life, then we see that we were born. So we came about in dependence on causes, we started to age immediately, that too came about in dependence on causes. And we use this to develop the understanding that this life is impermanent, and therefore it will end. Death will come to us. And so we can see this over a stream of a lifespan, and then we need to make it a little subtler, thinking about our time, the course of a day. So in the morning, we wake up. Then the opportunity to rest and recharge, that is now finished. And by the time we're sitting down for breakfast, that first spell of the morning, the first span of the morning, is also finished. And a few minutes later, when we've finished our breakfast, that opportunity is also gone. So the day is already disappearing before us. It's showing its impermanence. Then, as we continue with our day, we see how all of these little segments come and go. They pass. And we see this impermanent nature. And if whatever wish we have to have a virtuous mind, to develop virtuous minds, we see these opportunities that have passed as being finished. Those opportunities to accumulate virtue, they are lost. They are gone. Now what lies is this present moment to accumulate virtue. And in this way, based on this reflection of impermanence, we come to see, I shouldn't lose a moment. I should utilize every moment, whatever I'm doing, to ensure that my mind is virtuous, and therefore I have a mind of the Dharma. So in this way, reflecting on a very coarse level about impermanence, already we can have an impact on our way of thinking, our way of speaking, and our behavior. So even such a coarse meditation, especially if we can stay mindful of it, helps us to transform our life, helps us to live a life that is meaningful. So that's where we'll finish tonight, having started to look at impermanence, and we'll continue with the rest of the presentation on the objects of yogic direct value cognizers then tomorrow. It's not so late, so actually if you have some questions, we can take some questions. Yes?
Could you say that the reason we grasp at impermanence is because on a deeper level we feel the flimsiness of our nature and the impermanence and the subtleness of who we are, and so we grasp at it as sort of an impermanent concept, a permanent concept of ourselves. So if we can relax with the flimsiness and understanding dependent arising, then we could be more creative with that emptiness.
Okay. So if I understand the question, then is the reason that we grasp permanence, is that because we are on an innate level, an unconscious level, that we are actually aware of our impermanence? Yeah.
The selflessness of ourselves.
And the selflessness of ourselves. And therefore perhaps there is a bit of anxiety, so we grasp at a permanence.
Well, we're trying to make ourselves more concrete,
yeah.
Because we are not real.
Okay, good, thank you. Dini, takpa azini ki gyutin, ngato lenke mi takpa yins shingiyore, ngato rangsin, lenki mare rangsin, ngato mi takpa yins rangsin shingiyore. Dini ngato shigiyore, ngato takme yin, ngato rangsin shingiyore, dini di ngato shigiyore, chigiyore. Jetsa ngato takpa zingiyore, kasi shikiru pe mare, shikiru, deni dempa takpa yin di zingiyore.
Dirwa, tena ngazugi ngazu lo chemalya dugi mebadi ngazu rashi shingorwa lo chema. Tadi ngazu lo chemala dugi mebadi ngazu shingor. Ine sosugi ngazu yunchima de lo chemal rugorwa. Jisa ngazu gasu nga lo chema ning chike nga gangu chadu tadi nga shojirwa nga gangu chadu ani nga beju taya dang chosong taya dang wu ku le singa tung sa wu duwa be toshi chik beju kaje sosule kanga seye gi tunyin dige ngazu shunshun gala deri jigorwa kasne gangu chagu yobada ha gugorwa ha gowa enza gangu gi kabla ya kanga ma chedi shunshun gob yudi kabla sa tu gorwa jezadi ngazu ma gangu chagre samda wen di onga gangu chare din be giwu min de be de samda de no zhuwa jeza gangu chade di chai ngazu ge ha gu gor jeza gangu chade ne so bu de ta giwu chue na shunshun kabla giwu yo na jiwa chawra jeza giwu yo gobu yo giwu ya gu chue na di gu gor di dan da la ngazu be jue na zhuwa jeza ngazu mi da wa samda ngor san ji ru re se samda de xiena ngoya skemara karsene 마음바나 되니기 야구 영화에게 다들 고갑 랭고를 배주 땅고를 싸고를 규 싸고를 규마사바나 마음바나 배주 땅이라고 말했어. 지산 되니 이제 규 싸고래서 디 규사에게 don달라 아주게다 지시오라 근데 부이나 다가로와네 판밀랍지게도 다들 경화서 롭정 지야 고갑을 롭정 하고 지는 마도 마음바나 롭정 마제바나 지 마음바나 레가라야 나 강아 튀기래서 롭지티도 걸 신앙고요 말와 그 마음바나 탑람 약고 영향이 don달래 시고로 디나시리다.
I'll express it a bit differently. So we do know that we do have this natural feeling that I will be alive in the future. I will be alive next year, for example. And so we have this feeling that we will be alive next year, and our continuum certainly will continue. So, for example, when we were younger, we knew that we had to make preparations for our old age. If we want to be happy in our old age and have comfort in our old age, we need to prepare now. So therefore we need to work, and we need to save and make our plans for our old age. And right now also we know we need to make plans for our future. So in this way, we make plans for a future. We have this natural feeling that there is a future, and the way to deal with this skillfully is not to have any sense of fear, but to accumulate the appropriate causes for the result that we wish for. So in the same way that a parent will encourage and cajole their child to get as good an education as possible, because of knowing that if the child has a good education, they are likely to have a better future. So similarly, we with this feeling that we have that we do have a future, that we will be around next year, we need to accumulate the causes that will ensure that we experience the outcomes that we hope for. Okay. Alan?
To do with the stages of the path of accumulation and various realizations that we achieve on that. And Geshe is explaining we go from subtle, more and more subtle realization of subtle impermanence and selflessness. I have read that we focus upon different objects at different stages. There are 4 stages on the path of preparation. Heat.
Preparation or accumulation?
Preparation.
Preparation. Okay.
No, humans we are preparation. Heat, endurance, and highest mundane quality. And on each of those paths, we focus upon different objects. As far as I understand, on the heat, we focus on impure objects. And then on the next stage, pure objects, and then third stage, impure object possessors or impure consciousness, and then on the 4th stage, pure consciousnesses or correct consciousnesses. Am I on the right path in thinking that that is the way we progressed on the path of preparation?
Okay. The path of preparation has 4 parts: heat, peak, forbearance, endurance, and supreme mundane qualities. And so each one, if I understand correctly, has its own primary object of meditation. All those objects, impure objects, pure objects, impure consciousness, and pure consciousness. Dene cholam ewa shiyore, rimpa shiyore. Dene rimpa shide soso yul yore nge gosong. Dene soso yul de di repe de kungi katwere. Soso yul di repe. Dene dre. Dene kungi yul mi dakpa madakme yul dakme.
Dame.
Dene dre dene hikse.
Zemo seba chesho. Adinalia yudela dre nalo mitabada dame tharakan sunga yore.
Dene kale chen sunga. Dre yu sum.
Yu sunga yore. Zemo sele sunga yore. Dre zemo chesho dela sunga yore.
Dene de sum kare. The yu kare.
Yudela mitabato yore. Dre dele mitabato bigi dre yore. Jolam dre yore. Dene dame rabato be jolam dre yore. Damo chamato be jolam dre yore. Da dre zemo dela mitabato be jolam zemo yore. Dame rabato be zemo yore. Ane chamato be zemo yore.
Dene the rimpa shi. Shi this yul sum dang chik pa yore.
Sunga to yore. Da dinane yang nyamsha joari nyambar sha ni johan 직 주한 지역에 냠샤 될 다음에 참아도 못해요 말에 냠발샤네
되니 다음에 참어
다음에 참아도 못해요 말에
okay so in all four sections, all 4 parts of the path of preparation, they have the same three objects of subtle impermanence, coarse and subtle selflessness. So those are those three objects are repeated on all four levels, for 4 levels of the path of preparation. The subtle selflessness, though, is the object for when one is in meditative equipoise. Okay.
Dene cholam dre zemo dangbo ke yande gansa dame chamo che nyamja che go di chela ya rakba yong gore mi ta ba yong gore adi na shin da zemo ne ya swebal wa do go zemo ne swebal pha do di ya de dame chamo de mi ba de dame chamo la nyamba sha sweba di ka zemo di dene sweba di ge swebe ngo do go re de dame chamo re de sweba ne chesho ngo do han de la ya sweba ge 담에 유디 담에 참아들이마도 잡아도 미다고요 말에. 디나이다 최소네야 통라미고적인 전조로와 니 미유대 담에 참아들마도 잡아요 말도 미다고도 잡아요 말에.
When the yogi progresses from the first to the second level of the path of preparation, so from heat to peak, then they will do so in meditative equipoise, and that meditative equipoise will be on the subtle selflessness of persons. Then they've achieved the second of the 4 levels of the second path, the path of preparation, and they've achieved now the peak level. And here they will meditate on subtle impermanence, on core selflessness, and on subtle impermanence, subtle selflessness. So those same 3 objects again. When they come to move from the second level of the path of preparation to that third level, so from peak to forbearance, then they will move from the second to the third level, from peak to forbearance, in a meditative equipoise. That meditative equipoise will be on subtle selflessness. So exactly the same as from the first to the second level, for the second to the third level. And it's the same then, we're now on the third level, forbearance, they'll meditate on subtle impermanence, on core selflessness, on subtle selflessness, so those same 3 again. When they come to progress from the third level to the 4th level of the path of preparation, so from forbearance to supreme mundane qualities, they will again do so in meditative equipoise, and again the object will be subtle selflessness of persons, all the same. On the 4th level of the path of preparation, supreme mundane qualities, they'll just, well, let me check this. Then Shipa de Tonglama Dogongla Mitapa Tramo Dang. And then on the 4th level of the path of preparation, the supreme mundane qualities, they again will meditate on subtle impermanence, core selflessness, subtle selflessness. And when they come to when they come to realize the subtle selflessness directly, will be in a meditative equipoise, and that will mark them moving to the path of seeing and being an Arya being. So again, when they move now from the path of preparation, the 4th level, as with all the preceding levels, they will be in a meditative equipoise. The object will be the subtle selflessness of persons. So all that's the same, but now they come to. Okay. Okay, so time, I apologize, the time really is up. Can we have the prayers in brief, please? Okay, thank you.